G'day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to go through the update to the Miracle of Universe 7 Dokkan event, and we're going to take a look at everything the update brings. If you want to see what happens or how to get to this point, please go watch my part 1 video, which is in the video description below. So the Power of Trust, the Miracle of Universe 7, had 5 new stages added to it. That's stages 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Stages 5 and 6 obviously have the Dokkan Awakening medals for the Master Roshi and Tien unit and the Android 17 and Krillin unit. We then have a new support memory from stage 7, and we have new Awakening medals for the UI Goku from stage 9. So Krillin and Android 18 and Tien and Master Roshi both awaken with 10 of the Dokkan Awakening medals. These units awaken into a pretty decent state, but please remember that these units will be getting an EZA down the line. So you're going to still want to have obviously one copy that you're going to be your main copy and a second copy that is the SA copy. We then also have the UI Goku, who you saw at the bottom there, who is awakened with the medals received at stage 9. You also require 10 medals of these to awaken Goku to his new Dokkan form. We then also have a support memory. This will be the same as the first support memory with Gohan and Piccolo. This support memory is basically for siblings bond category. It is allies attack plus 18 and attack and defense plus 18% for one turn when HP is 50% or less. You need to get 100 support memories to activate the support memory for future use, and it can be dropped from stage 7. Beyond that though, obviously one of the units that you're going to need to farm is the UI Goku. So UI Goku drops from the Universal Survival Saga event that you can see right here on the screen. And his copies drop from stage 3, and his medals drop from the final stage, stage 12. Goku will drop in an SR state, so you're going to have to get copies of this Goku and then awaken them to the SSR state, and then take that SSR copy and then Dokkan awaken it further. In terms of how many copies of Goku that you will need 19 copies of Goku. You will need 5 for the EZA copies SA, and you will need obviously the 14 that you are required to rainbow the base unit. You will then also need 120 of the medals that drop from stage 12. We'll go through it later, but that is how many you will need, and then you can tackle this event and farm the 20 medals you need for the 2 copies. So it's a little bit confusing, but we will clarify it later. But if you are wanting to start on that event, you will need to farm 19 copies of Goku and 120 medals from stage 12 in the Universal Survival Saga event. So here we are doing the first stage. This stage drops medals for Master Roshi and Tien. The buff for this event is representatives of Universe 7. As it was before, so nothing's changed. So please obviously take your best representatives of Universe 7 team into the event for the highest bonus. We do go through some free-to-play Universe 7 units in the first video, so you can look at that if you're looking for some reference. But otherwise, there is obviously a whole bunch of Universe 7 units on the current banners, so just select as many as you can and try and fill out your team accordingly to get the biggest boost. You can of course also use Oolong, which is a support memory that uses the red type support memories, and those will be 70 per chance. Oolong boosts a stage's bonus boost by 50% upon use if a stage has a bonus boost requirement. So for those of you who are looking to maximize your run and your stamina, you can use Oolong. It will help you and assist you in terms of farming those items. So you can use Oolong similarly to the first event. He will give you a 50% boost, which will enable you to improve the drop rate of the units, or the medals I should say, per attempt with your stamina. So it's quite helpful. Obviously it's expensive to run a lot of support memories. You need a lot of Bubba's points. So for experienced players, you're going to be able to obviously farm a lot faster than the newer players. For newer players, as soon as you manage to farm up 70 memories, keep them stored and save them for these kind of grinds, for anything else really. As long as you are using them to farm medals or units or any free-to-play thing, then it's perfectly fine to go for that. So try not to use them on stages that have training items or anything. Yeah. But that was the Husband and Wife Saga 2, which is obviously the second part of the Krillin and Android 18 series. That will give us the medals to Dokkan Awaken them. For both Krillin and 18 and for Tien and Master Roshi, you will need 10 medals per unit. So if you are looking to rainbow out the units eventually with their Easy A, you are going to need 20 medals in total for Krillin and 18 and 20 medals in total for Master Roshi and Tien. In terms of that though, it's pretty straightforward from there. We now have some kind of free space stages that you can take on, and these are not going to drop massive rewards. Instead, these are just going to drop some bonuses for us to get. Most of them are training items and awakening medals that will assist you with the free-to-play units. In terms of these stages, however, just a heads up, obviously we got 6 new stages added with the event, with 2 difficulties per stage. That does total into 12 stones, which is a nice little bonus. So please keep that in mind. You will also get a stone each for when you Dokkan Awaken your first copy of Android 18 and Krillin, your first copy of Tien and Master Roshi. Well, I mean, he might be Master Tien now. And of course, for your first copy of Goku UI. So you will also get bonus stones from the missions there. So please keep that in mind when you are running the stage, that you want to also run the lower difficulties, because that will give you the chance at some memories and some stones. So yeah, obviously we're now running the Sibling Saga, which is relevant to Android 18 and 17, and that will drop the support memories that we require so that we can obviously farm the support memory. The support memory requires 100 of these before it becomes active for future use, but it doesn't take too long depending on your boost on your team. Probably around 10 runs or so for anyone who's got a full Representatives of Universe 7 team. That being said, obviously it's quite a good support memory for Siblings Bonds team, so you can use that to boost up your teams that have androids or Gohans, Gotens, anything like that where there's Sibling Bonds based units. Vegeta as well, surprisingly, should really help you out. But now we'll move on to the next stage, the Eternal Rivalry Saga. This stage doesn't drop any baseline rewards. As you can see here, we have 11 out of 100 for our support memory. You can take oolongs into all of these stages, as we're highlighting there. As mentioned previously, he will boost your chance, but please remember to try and use them on stages only where you receive a unit or a medal. That is so that you can obviously decrease the amount that you have to farm. Try not to use it on training items, as training items are quite abundant and will be quite easy to get over time. So beyond that though, everything should be perfectly fine. We fight Jiren here, so this is obviously the beginning of Goku's battle against Jiren, or his first battle against Jiren or so. The Dokkan events have not been too difficult. If you did not struggle with the first part of the event, you will not struggle with the second part of the event, so do not worry about anything at that point. If you are a brand new player, as always, I suggest getting some semblance of at least a category team or monotype team, depending on what you manage to pull from the banners. That's going to determine how much you struggle with these events. Alternatively, you can also put these free-to-play cards in your team. They will be able to handle the heat, so to say, from the event, so you can also use them as a baseline for all of your attempts. But yeah, obviously we then get to move on to the next stage here. This is obviously Goku's second battle against Jiren, the Eternal Rivalry Saga 2. So this is just Goku's second battle, so we will pop Oolong's boost here, and then that will assist us in farming, just so you guys can kind of see how it works. You'll have Oolong run and you'll do a little animation which you can watch, and then we'll be able to proceed and take a look at everything. Obviously, this fight shouldn't be too difficult. I doubt they would increase the difficulty of an event just to get the medals, so it shouldn't be too much of a worry. and then we can proceed with awakening Goku and all of the other units. Farming this event didn't take me too long. Goku was the hardest in terms of farming, but that was because I had to do the pre-farm at the Universal Survival Saga event. Obviously all of these units only required 20 medals. It honestly took me about 220 stamina or so to get all the medals for all 3 of these units. So for newer players, that's probably a full day or so of play, especially if they don't have a high bonus team. For very new players, it could even be up to 2 or so days, depending on how much you log in and how much you play during that time, and obviously how long the events take you, because that is also going to be a factor that you have to kind of take into account. The rest of these stages don't drop the biggest rewards. This one mainly just drops awakening medals, so that is something that we'll have to keep in mind, but beyond that, it's not too much of an issue. We can very clearly finish these events, get these stones, and then move on from there. So yeah, everything's pretty straightforward for this event. As said before, this event specifically will drop 20 medals, well 10 medals that you need to awaken a single unit. For Master Roshi and Tien, 10 medals for Krillin and 18, and 10 medals for UI Goku. All 3 of which you should farm and should awaken. Because they are all getting easy A's at some point, as always, I suggest taking your second copy, which should be at 5 SA, and awakening that as well. So you will need to farm 20 medals of each in total, for a total of 60 medals. In terms of the units, if you're wondering why you need additional copies, that is because when you awaken units, their SA level goes from 10 to 15, and the only way to raise that SA is to use another unit of 5 SA to take it from 10 to 15. Makes sense. If you need more assistance on how to start the event, please go and watch my video about part 1 in the comments below. But we'll quickly jump to awakening all of the units so that we can take a look at how many units we should awaken and what order we should awaken them in. So obviously now we are just going to take a look. So the first one that we should awaken is you should have 2 copies of Android 18 and Krillin. The 1 copy should have SA10 and all 4 paths opened, and the second copy should just be SA5. You will need 10 medals for both, so please make sure that you obviously awaken both of them so that you can have the second copy for when the unit easy A's. As explained before, the SA10 unit will easy A to have SA15, and you will need to incorporate your level 5 unit into that unit via training to get their SA to level 15 as well. It would be easier to differentiate if you rainbow the all paths open unit, but obviously that's going to be dependent on how many orbs you as a player have. The next unit that we must awaken is the Master Roshi and Tien, and we follow the same procedure here. You should have 1 unit with all the paths open, that is SA10, and a second unit that is SA5 with none of the paths open. You must then obviously awaken both of them for 10 medals, totaling in at 20 medals each. Again, pretty straightforward once you obviously have everything prepared. It is just a little bit of groundwork to get here. But once that's all done, we'll then proceed to the more extreme unit. Again, I suggest putting in the orbs, because the orbs will help you differentiate which unit is which. Then the final unit that you should take a look at is obviously the UI Goku. So you should have UI Goku in a UR state from his first event, the Universal Survival Saga. You should have 1 copy that is SA10 and 1 copy that is SA5. The SA10 copy should also have all his paths awakened. To highlight to you how to awaken his paths, I'm going to show you how to awaken a single Goku to the UR state. So as you can see, I have 4 copies of Goku, who I will awaken to eventually feed into the single Goku so that I can awaken him and have him at a rainbow level. To do so, I need to have 20 medals for each Goku, which is why when I highlighted them, you will see that they have 80 medals. These medals and the copies of Goku again can be received from the Universal Survival Saga event. So to highlight, we have one Goku with SA10, which means that there's 10 copies of Goku. We have one Goku with SA5, which means that is 5 copies of Goku. We then have the 4 spare copies of Goku, which means you need to farm 19 in total. You will notice we have the 2 Gokus already awakened to a UR state. Those Gokus required 20 medals each from the stage 12, so that is 40 medals, and we have 80 medals to awaken our hidden potential Gokus, so that is 80 medals in total, plus the 40 from before, that equals 120. I will now train a single Goku, and you will see that we have to first Z-awaken the unit, then train him again, and then we have to awaken him with the medals that we received from stage 12. This will take Goku to a SSR state. You can then leave Goku here, and he can now be put into the SA10 Goku for hidden potential system. You can see here that when we click on Goku, we can place this Goku inside for the hidden potential path. We obviously then have to do this 3 more times to Rainbow Goku. Please make sure that you are doing the correct Goku. When you are putting this in, you want to put the SSR Goku or the Goku that is SA1. You want to make sure that you have the SA1 Goku, because obviously, if you use the SA5, it's just basically a waste of the Gokus that you farmed. Once this process is done, you can then awaken both Gokus. We'll just awaken the SA5 Goku for now, because I don't want to bore you by making you watch me fill out the hidden potential system. So yeah. But that's about it from me, guys. I hope this helped you guys out in terms of what units to farm. And let me know down below in the comments if you need help anywhere else. But that's going to be it from me. Cheers, and I'll see you next time. But until then, stay safe, and bye!